The quantum girly.
I'm coining quantum girly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I wanna coin ferret girly, which was what we were talking about before.
Oh my God, yes.
Because I'm like, you've heard of horse girls. Have you heard of ferret girls? I am a ferret girl.
Welcome to
Ferret girl psychology.
We're a ferret girl.
Oh my gosh. Oh, my inner child just jizzed.
Hot girl psychology. Hot girl psychology. Hot girl psychology.
Welcome to Hot Girl Psychology. We're a girl's girl podcast where attractiveness meets attachment wounds.
Here at Hot Girl Psychology, we believe that the darkest parts of your mind are the sexiest.
I'm Emily. I'm a startup founder and CEO, and I put the psycho in psychonutritionist.
And I'm Deanna. I'm a clinical psychotherapist, public dark romance author, and recovering people pleaser. I treat trauma by day and I live it by night. What's up, girlies? Self-care is so oversaturated, but it's so important.
It's literally the most important thing.
And I talk about it I talk about self-care. I also talk about balance all the time with clients of being, there are a lot of clients that don't want to self-care because they don't want to be lazy and they want to be able to achieve their dreams and work towards goals and succeed in all of those things. But then there is that balance with self-care, and not just the self-care that is objectively good for you, because things like meditating, things like eating healthy, things like showering, these are things that are objectively good for us. We do them. We also kind of need to do them.
Yes.
And then there are things of just pure enjoyment. That's also really important.
Absolutely. What do you consider to be pure enjoyment for yourself? So you said reading a book in the park.
Yes. Reading a book in the park. I love being outside. I love being in nature. And going on walks is a big one, which, it's exercise. And so it's good for you, but I do genuinely like it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we have those self-care things that aren't enjoyable at first, or they're not very appealing. And then we do them and then we feel great. Yeah. I genuinely love to walk and I collect rocks as I walk. I was just talking about how I am a rock girl.
The rock girl.
Rock girly.
So fun.
Because I collect them and then I paint them.
Oh my God, you're you could be like a little penguin and give all your pebbles to
Yes. Okay, so I do that. So whenever otters too, they collect rocks and then they have this little pouch in their stomach that they put them in and just keep them and just swim around with rocks all day.
That's so goofy. I love that.
I know.
It's so fun.
I know. I love otters. I'm also otter girl. I mean, everyone's otter girl. If you're not, you're a psycho. Don't talk to me. Whenever Jake and I go on walks, I always want to collect every rock that I see, but then they're too heavy for me to walk with, so he always just carries all my rocks for me. We'll go back and he has 40 pounds of rocks in his arms.
Wow.
Just
he lives to serve.
Yes. What about you? What are things that feel just completely enjoyable and pure and utter peace for you?
I really I like getting 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
As much as humanly possible. I love just yapping. I mean, literally this podcast, it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
Just chatting about shit, it's a little directed, but it's still a hobby. I love going out to eat. I love
you do.
I fucking love
you, because you're such a foodie.
I'm such a foodie. Yeah, no, I'm obsessed with good food. I'm obsessed with good food and interesting food. So I love to go out to eat. I eat like a fucking founder. I just maximize maximizing my consciousness, and 2, maximizing my cognition, and 3, maximizing my health. And that's it. Yeah. And I don't really care unless I'm going out to eat, which is why I love going out to eat.
It sounds like more mindful eating than a diet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's also just here's how I can get the most out of my diet without having to think too hard about it. It's definitely not a diet at all, but I would call it the founder diet. It's like a founder lifestyle diet.
When you said a founder diet, I forgot that you're talking about being the founder of a company. I was thinking of a founding father. a founding father of a colonial man. I'm is it because you eat standing up?
Low-key, I do though. I used to have, I am a founding father. I used to have my license plate for a really long time said I'm daddy.
Of course.
Yeah, it was just like a power thing. It was like I run this shit kind of thing, because I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I drive a fast little.
Why hide it?
No, never ever. I run this shit. So yeah, and other things that I like to do. I love to travel, and I love to be pretty. So I invest a lot of time in being pretty, because it just makes me happy to look at myself and think, oh, I did that. How nice.
Yeah.
I love like socializing. Yeah, and shopping.
So are you more an extrovert?
Yeah,
Sorry,
very.
an extrovert than an introvert?
Yeah, a little bit of both, but primarily extroverted. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about this. It was a couple actually. You know, one partner is an introvert, one partner is an extrovert, and a lot of times you'll see that in couples and they can't really understand each other. And at least to me, what I define introvert versus extroverted as is an introvert. It doesn't mean that they don't like to socialize, but socializing depletes their energy.
Yes. Yeah.
And then an extrovert, socializing gives them energy. For me, because I consider myself an introvert, not meaningful conversation is what drains my battery.
Empty.
I hate small talk. I'm not good at it. I don't do that. And there are sometimes that I'll have friends that apologize to me and they're just like, I'm sorry that you had to be my therapist tonight because I was talking about X, Y, and Z. And I was like, no, I'd rather talk about this than talk about fucking nothing or talk about the weather or anything like that.
Or just like what you've had going on this week.
Yeah. And if I didn't want to play therapist, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So nobody ever needs to apologize for that for me. Or if I did it and then was upset about it, it's my fault.
Yeah. That's real.
Because I'm in complete control of that. And I have been guilty of that, of just like going home feeling really, really depleted after hanging out with somebody. I was like, I didn't need to do that. I could have redirected the conversation. I didn't need to, you know, I didn't need to step into that role. It was a choice.
Yes.
You know,
I love that.
Ooh.
And agency is so hot.
Yes. And then you got to take accountability for if you go home, you leave a social situation feeling bad, you do need to kind of say like, what did I do? What boundaries did I allow somebody to cross? Or what like doors did I open that I didn't want to open, you know?
Absolutely.
Because most people don't know your boundaries. So how do they know if they're crossing them if you don't make them clear?
That is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my boundaries are like unequivocally clear all the time because I learned very quickly that if you don't put up boundaries, they will be found. They will be located real fucking fast. Same thing with like clients. Like I have extraordinary boundaries with my clients because I just can't. I just don't have the capacity to not have boundaries. Like I know that I have very, very. I allocate my resources like a budget. You know, like my emotional and cognitive resources, and if I don't have space for it, then I don't really have space for it. And that's like good. So I don't really let people kind of like, unless, I don't know, I guess historically some partners have kind of taken some extra resources from me.
Yeah.
But outside of that.
Well, that's how you learn what your boundaries are. Most of our boundaries that we have, we learn the hard way.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, because like, why would you need them otherwise, right?
Right.
How would you even know that they exist?
Right. And when somebody tries to give you unsolicited advice, usually it's coming from like that good place of being like, hey, I don't want you to make this mistake. You should put up a boundary, or, you know, but you're not going to listen to them. Yeah. You have to learn the hard way.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It can be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I love that. Also, so for everybody, in case you haven't caught on, Emily and I's catchphrase is, I love that. In our first episode, we didn't mean to, but it was about like 40 times that we collectively said, I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Like so much.
So that's just our thing. And one day when we do merch, I think we should have, no, that should be our thing.
Absolutely. It's the new, that's hot.
Yes. That's what I think of Paris Hilton.
No, like, we're like dark Paris Hilton. Like literally we are dark Paris and Nicole. Like actually.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like
I love that.
I love that.
I love that. I love that. We're not going to say who's who because obviously we both want to be Paris. So
I swear to God, man, Paris Hilton and like Kim Kardashian ran so that women like me could fucking walk.
yeah.
Like for real.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I just am so blown away by how like these women with like money and beauty just fucking conquered so hard.
Yeah.
It's so smart.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
They really are. They're brilliant. They also got into a market and did something different.
Yes.
Even though they might not be traditionally seen as geniuses, they are.
Yeah, they are fucking brilliant.
They played the game better than the rest of you motherfuckers.
Absolutely. They all did. No, literally. And like all they had to do to start, like when I say that they ran so we could walk, what I really mean by that is like they released like sex tapes to get themselves out there. And then just did fucking quiet, brilliant shit afterwards. They got the publicity. They made themselves look stupid. They made themselves look like just like vapid and like, you know, just plastic and whatever. And then in the background, they're like building a fucking empire. Like it's insane.
So
it's still fucking working.
In other words, they died for our sins.
They literally did. They are the mythical archetypes.
Okay. So our topic for today is hot girl archetypes. Part two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So for those who are listening, hot girl archetypes are based on the concept of like Jungian archetypes. So Carl Jung. And they are just essentially parts and pieces of us that are able to persist throughout generations. So they are something that the common humanity shares, the common collective unconscious, and it's like the little parts of us that come out across humanity. So we developed the concept of hot girl archetypes, which is part of the hot girl psychology index, and we're releasing them every once in a while.
Yeah.
As an episode.
Yes. So hot girl archetypes, we did come up with it. It is a phrase that we coined.
We did
FYI.
I love that.
In case you were confused.
JK.
Yes.
Nobody would ever be confused about us.
Yeah. They are based on Carl Jung's archetypes. So they're innate structures and behaviors that all humans have. It's the collective unconscious and which is a deep layer of the psyche that all humans share. And so these archetypes, they're universal patterns, but I also like to think of them as characters.
Yeah.
Almost.
They're like almost mythical.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So like the archetypes that you probably know the most of, like of Carl Jung, would be like the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Those are common ones that we think about.
Yes.
The animus, which is like the more kind of animalistic side of us. The magician, which is kind of like the person who's like making things happen. The alchemist, person who turns their pain into beauty in some way, pain into meaning. But we all do these things in different times of our lives. We all embody these at different times of our lives. So
we wear them, kind of, you know.
It's like wearing somebody's skin.
It really is like wearing somebody's skin.
And your ancestors' skin.
To be honest, I honestly feel like archetypes are just trauma responses in costume.
Beautiful way to put it. I actually love that. I'm going to write that down.
So there are roles that we play based on our trauma, our fears, just being human in general. And they are a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
That is why we wear these skins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. It's like, it's a coping mechanism to wear someone else's skin.
Yeah, for sure.
Write that down.
But yeah, so there are so many different archetypes. And so Carl Jung, he had 12, I guess, basic archetypes.
Yeah.
But his whole thing was, you know, you can create your own archetypes, which is pretty much what we're doing.
That's precisely what we're doing.
And so other, like the caregiver, the creator, the orphan. I think we talked a little bit about the hero,
yes.
The explorer. All of these are parts of the collective unconscious, and they are almost characters that you play, roles that you step into. And so hot girl archetypes, it's a similar concept. They are characters that we embody at certain periods of our lives as a way to deal with trauma, with fear or even just being a woman in this world. And so they are Jungian archetypes, but make them hot. Because there also is just such a host of complexity that comes with being a hot girl.
It really, really does. And so our previous episode, we touched on the cool girl, the siren, the queen.
Yes. Yeah. The lover girl we talked about, femme fatale, the nurturer, the emo girl. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
But we talk about what these archetypes are kind of stereotypically, like what they are on the surface, what they seem to be. And then we get into the deeper of it all, the shadow of it all. And we say what they actually are, maybe what they want, what they fear. We talk about how they're fetishized often by men, by the media.
Absolutely.
And then we tell you kind of how you can be a more evolved version of this and an empowered version of this, because we also talked about how some of these archetypes are more primal than others and some are more evolved than others, but each one has the potential to be great.
Absolutely.
And none of these are good or bad.
Nope.
None of these archetypes are good or bad. They're not meant to put you in a box at all. All they are meant to do is help you understand yourself and understand why you might embody different personas at specific times in your life and what coping mechanism that is, and also how we pretty much share the same traumas and therefore share the same coping mechanisms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the hot girl archetypes are really interesting because everyone does them at least once, all of them. Like there's little periods and pockets of time in your life or bigger periods of your life that you embody, like, well, for example, the queen or the siren or the cool girl or the lover girl or things like that. So those were the first 6 that we came up with. And we have 6 more for you today.
Yes.
So, Deanna, would you like to start?
Yeah, I can start. Okay. So my first one is the basic girl.
The basic girl.
We all know her.
We do.
We all know her. She's so many different stereotypes. And I actually feel like this archetype changes forms throughout the years, and because she very much is what's popular, is what's trendy. And that looks different. So basic girl in the 50s looks very different from basic girl today. Even basic girl in 2018 looks very different from basic girl today. But so to me, current basic girl, the stereotype of her is like she wears Lululemon. She likes her pumpkin spice.
Absolutely.
She quotes The Office like it's an Orson Welles film. She makes loving dogs her whole personality. She loves TikTok. She loves trends. She follows anything that's popular. She's a follower.
Absolutely.
More than anything else. And so she's known to be very surface level. And that she lacks originality. And she doesn't go deep. And she doesn't have strong opinions. She doesn't have big feelings or strong opinions.
She doesn't have big feelings or strong opinions.
Similar to the cool girl in some ways, of that kind of self-erasure. And but so I think that she's very fetishized, especially by men, because she seems easy. She seems simple. Or almost like a blank canvas that you can do anything with.
Which is leaving her really vulnerable.
Yes.
She's very vulnerable.
Yes, exactly. And I think that people like this archetype because it doesn't seem intense. It seems lighthearted, nonchalant. And because she doesn't have big feelings, maybe people think she doesn't have any feelings, and and so, or she doesn't show big feelings. Everybody has big feelings. They're just either tapped into it or they're not, or they're hiding it, or they're not. But so the shadow of this archetype. So what's really going on? One of two things.
Yes.
So number one is that basic girl is truly basic in that she has a very underdeveloped self-concept.
Ooh.
And she has a deep fear of darkness.
Yeah.
So she keeps it on the surface.
Absolutely.
So that she doesn't have to go there. She doesn't need to feel pain if she keeps it on the surface. And I think just being basic is easier for her.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't need to confront the darkness, but also not having big feelings, not having strong opinions makes it a lot less likely for her to get rejected and abandoned, which is what most of us fear at our core. So it makes sense why basic girl would choose to be basic girl and why somebody would choose to embody this. But so the second shadow of this to me is that on the converse, basic girl is actually not so basic.
Okay.
And she is seen as basic because she's actually not seen at all. She does have a developed self-concept and she is very interesting, but the people around her are just choosing not to see it.
Wow.
And she's surrounded by the wrong people, or also maybe she doesn't feel safe to show them these sides of her, these deeper, these more interesting sides of her.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've realized recently because I do have a client like this who is so cool and so interesting and so sweet, and she really is just the best, and the people around her suck and they don't see it. And she's just very unseen, unheard. So I feel like that's also a possibility for a basic girl, is that she's actually not basic. She's just seen that way because people truly aren't seeing her.
Right.
But so if we're talking about an empowered version of this archetype, there is nothing wrong with simplicity. There is nothing wrong with following trends. There is nothing wrong with scrolling. There's nothing wrong with liking what you like. We all like pumpkin spice. We all like The Office. We all like dogs. They're objectively good things. Just because they're popular doesn't make them bad. You're allowed to like what you like. That being said, make sure that you develop a self-concept.
Yes.
And live according to your genuine likes and your values, and prioritize that versus just what's popular.
Yeah, I love that.
You know?
Yeah. So
and find out what makes you unique. Most of us do have things that make us unique, and we just haven't explored it. We haven't tapped into it.
Yes.
And that's the self-concept piece of it. If you just do a lot of self-concept work, some deep self-exploration, I'm not saying that it's fun. Sometimes it's not.
No, it's terrible, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it's 100% worth it.
So painful, but so worth it.
Another thing that can make this an empowered archetype is surrounding yourself with the right people.
Exactly.
Surrounding yourself with the people that will genuinely see you and hear you and see that you are unique and see that you are an individual.
Absolutely.
And love all of those things.
And also just like match your energy, right? Like
yes.
Most of the people who are basic girls like don't actually get to know their own energy because they're so suppressed.
And they're trying to match other people's energy versus...
Which is why they're always depleted.
Yes. They're trying to match other people's energy, because I do think that a part of the basic girl also is wanting to be liked, wanting to fit in. So, which makes sense. Most of us do want to be liked. Most of us do want to fit in. And that's not a bad thing. But there's a difference between being adaptable and fitting into a box.
Yes.
You know, be adaptable, meet people where they're at, but don't compromise who you are.
Yeah.
And you need to know who you are in order to not compromise who you are.
Absolutely.
So that's the most important part to me. Basic girl, just get to know who you are.
Yeah. And don't listen to what your parents told you are.
Yes.
Because they're probably wrong, honestly.
Or what anybody tells you that you are.
But especially
to be honest. Yeah.
Or caregivers, whatever they are.
They're almost always wrong.
They're like 99% of the time, unfortunately. But they're just trying to help you, even though a lot of parents are like really not helpful. But basic is safe, right?
Yeah, basic is safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like this is socially acceptable. I can like these things.
Exactly. And I do think that we might try to, or we might just naturally embody or fall into this archetype when we have a deep need for safety.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
And like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that takes priority versus being unique and an individual. But just make sure that you get to know who you are and try to fall in love with yourself.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay. What is your next archetype that you have for us?
Okay. I'm going to start with the mystic girl. So the mystic girl is like witchy. She's like always interested in just kind of seeing the spiritual side of things. She's always kind of like seeking enlightenment and cleansing and ritual. She loves her sage. She loves her crystals. She loves her like rituals and things like that.
Are you coming for me right now?
I
feel like you're trying to
a little bit.
I am witchy girl, FYI.
I know you are. I think I'm heading there. I think I'm headed in that direction.
I feel like you've become more witchy since I've gotten to know you.
I like low-key think I have to. It's like actually weird because I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just where I'm naturally gravitating to.
It happens.
Yeah. It's like cosmic-y witchy kind of thing, but I definitely have long black hair and I wear a lot of black now. So, well, I've always worn a lot of black. So the witchy girl is just very like she's 1 foot in her body, 1 foot in her spiritual world, right? So she's like constantly embodying and being in the spirit, embodying being in her spirit, back and forth between the two. And so she's very heart. And one of her shadows is she tends to wear her heart on her sleeve, similar to the lover girl.
Yeah.
Because like the spirit is really rooted in the heart, right? So
that's so true. Actually, there are people that I know that embody this archetype way more than I do. And it's almost like they're not self-protective enough sometimes because they do wear their heart on their sleeve. They expect everybody to want the same genuine, deep connection that they do. Absolutely. And a lot of people don't, unfortunately.
No, because a lot of people it's a form of enlightenment, but it can be in its shadow a form of avoidance, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. Because you're kind of like not going into the body more. And so with the witchy, the mystic, like she's just constantly like pulling metaphors out of thin air that are like so for some reason true and coherent, yet also if you've never touched on that, they are so off-putting. So like that's the thing, but her desire is to like connect, right? Her desire is to be connected, but she's throwing her connection out everywhere.
She can freak people out.
Oh my God, can't she ever?
Yeah.
Right? Joan of Arc got burned at the fucking stake.
Yeah.
Because
I love her.
We love that. But like that's the thing. Like, she's gonna we'll get our little heads chopped off at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, Joan of Arc. We forgot her when we were talking about that.
How could we? But like truly, like it's the mystic girl, she's like she also probably smokes some weed. And she also, probably does shrooms at the festivals and shit like that because get enlightened, right?
Yeah.
But she is seeking like her own form of enlightenment, right? And so the empowered version of her is enlightened. The empowered version of her like knows to not curse her own future, curse her own self, curse the others around her, but instead like figure out where her blessings are. And this is like getting into that spiritual side of things. Figure out where her blessings are and actually connect to them, right? Figure out where she's able to bring blessing to the world around her without sacrificing her safety.
Yeah.
So being really in who she is and being connected both to her body and her spirit and her mind, because that tends to also be a little bit utilized if she's never really like gone on kind of an existential journey, because she's again 1 foot in the body, 1 foot in the spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the true like embodied or the true empowered witchiness is like triangular, and that is mind, body, spirit.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So what would an empowered version of this archetype look like to you?
So coherent, right? So like the soul, mind, body are all aligned. The like understanding of the internal and the external makes sense. There's coherence between the internal and the external. The embodied version of this is somebody who projects their love and their light outward as opposed to living in their darkness. Because the darkness has a purpose always, but more often than not, once you've like alchemized your pain, it becomes light pretty much across the board. And so for somebody who's like witchy and mystic, she's using her skills, her faith, her belief, her spirituality, her enlightenment, her soul to bring others to that as well, right? Like she also acts kind of as like a portal for that. For you, like if you're this witchy type, part of the reason why you're empowered is because you're a therapist. You know, like that's the portal.
I do think that it's probably better that way for the most part versus putting blind faith into spells and things like that. And I'm a big believer that anything can be a spell, any thought, any a birthday wish is a spell, a prayer is a spell. They're all the same thing.
Yeah. And I feel like for me, my witchiness is a lot of just like, it's almost like meditative. Like it's just a lot of I just meditate a ton. Like I'm just constantly meditating and like, you know, psilocybin and all that stuff. It's just like that shit. I'm like I don't know what you call that one.
I think that if you were a witch, you'd be a cosmic witch.
That's what I was gonna say. Like so, I'm like a cosmic girl.
Cosmic witches are I'm eclectic because of course I see it's the same thing as a therapist. I'm like they're all amazing. But cosmic witches are they do pay a lot of attention to the moon. They might pay a lot of attention to the zodiac as well, and astrology, not necessarily, but they do believe in forces of nature and physics. And
I'm a quantum witch.
A quantum witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like obsessed with like quantum mechanics and manifestation, meditation.
Yeah. The quantum girly.
I'm coining quantum girly.
Yes. I wanna coin ferret girly, which was what we were talking about before.
Oh my god, yes.
Because I'm like, you've heard of horse girls. Have you heard of ferret girls? I am a ferret girl.
Welcome to
Ferret Girl Psychology.
We're a ferret.
Oh my gosh. Oh, my inner child just jizzed. That was the best thing that I ever could have done for my inner child. I literally just had like a flashback to her in the ferret room. Oh. Yeah, so we had a ferret room.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so extra.
Yeah, I had a whole rodent room. Yeah. Who needs a guest room when you can have a rodent room?
Literally the most Deanna shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God.
I love
that. Okay, what's your number 2?
Okay. So my number 2
is Ferret Girl. JK.
My second archetype is the good girl.
The good girl. Ooh.
This is such a common one.
Love to hear the good girl.
So I needed to do this one because this is such a common one. I have so many thoughts about it.
Yeah.
But we see this archetype across media, books, movies. Yeah. She's oftentimes the main character. She's like the virgin like character, and then she either falls in love and lives happily ever after, or she like gets corrupted. Yeah. And those are her 2 options.
That's like all she gets.
Yes.
2 choices.
Yes. Choose wisely. Yes. Yes. But so the good girl, she's pure. She's nice to everyone. Nice. Not necessarily kind. Nice.
Nice.
She's innocent. She can be naive.
Yeah.
She is soft and warm, and she always does the right thing. You know, and she, a lot of times when we see this portrayed in the media, she will make the male main character want to be a better person.
Yeah, but that's like not actually always the case in real life.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Definitely in the media, because they're like, we want all the girls to be good girls. But then in real life.
Also in real life, women don't exist to just make men better. However, in movies they do. Manic Pixie Dream Girl. That's that whole belief.
Do you know what the Bechdel test is?
Of course I know what the Bechdel test is. I was a screenwriting major. It is that a movie has to have an entire scene in which it's just women and they are talking about something that is anything else other than a man.
That is the Bechdel test. And if it passes, it means they didn't talk about a man.
And so the first movie to ever pass that was called The Women.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hot girl psychology.
That's hot girl psychology. Yeah. So actually, these archetypes too, I feel like I very much studied a lot of screen archetypes as a screenwriting major.
Yeah.
So femme fatale was a huge one. The good girl was a huge one.
Yeah.
In film noirs, there were always archetypes, and usually always there was the femme fatale and the good girl. And the man always won in the end, so it didn't really matter.
Of course.
But usually the femme fatale was thought, or it could be siren, either way. They're pretty similar, but they would usually be the one that loses and be seen as evil and demonized. And then the good girl was just like so
pure.
Good and pure. And either the guy would end up with her or he wouldn't. But either way, he would somehow win.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And she wouldn't really, because she'd end up with a shitty male that only cared about himself, or she'd end up alone. So,
yes. Women basically didn't exist for some reason up until like recently.
Up until like just now.
Like actually, like low key, like, so sorry girls. We know you're there. We know we're here, but the men.
Yes. To me, the good girl is one of the most fetishized archetypes.
Yeah.
I have so many thoughts about this being fetishized because I feel like I have been in a silent war with this archetype.
Okay.
Like forever.
Okay.
Because it was something I always wanted to embody and be seen as the good girl.
Okay.
And I could never hack it.
Wow.
And I think I really just wanted to be innocent and pure and to be seen that way. And I am not, and I haven't been for a really long time.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Radical acceptance.
Yeah. But it took me a long time to be okay with that, to radically accept that fact.
Yeah.
I feel like I actually tried really hard to embody this archetype in my late teens and early 20s specifically. I got this obsessive need to prove that I was a good person.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was to everybody else or if it was to myself, but
I feel like the fact that you became an existential therapist says that it was to yourself.
Yeah.
To yourself through everyone else.
Through everybody else. Yeah.
External validation.
External validation, because I see myself through the lens of other people's eyes.
Yeah.
But I got obsessive about this need to prove that I was a good person. And I reflected on it fairly recently in the last few years of that time in my life. And I was asking the question of like, where did this obsession come from?
Yeah.
Where did this need come from? Because did I need to prove that I wasn't a bad person? Because there was no evidence to support that I would have been a bad person. The only person I had ever hurt was myself. So by my morals and ethics, I wouldn't have been a bad person. So I was like, what was I trying to prove? And I realized, again, in the recent years, upon reflection and trauma processing, that I associated being a good person with being a pure and innocent person.
Wow.
And I wasn't that. So in turn, I wasn't a good person. But the pure and innocent thing was taken from me.
Yeah.
When I was so young, and then just continued to be taken. But that is a huge theme of the book that I'm coming out with, Confessions of a Sugar Baby. the main character, her name is Serena, and she's the opposite of the good girl archetype. She's the siren. She's the siren archetype. That's why I named her Serena the siren.
Serena the siren.
But so
I did Serena's the siren.
Yeah. But so she is the opposite of the good girl. And the biggest themes of the book are, one, that innocence is just a lack of experience. And who wants that? So why the fuck do we fetishize it? Two is that innocence is a luxury.
Yeah.
And not everybody is lucky enough to still have it.
Yes.
And for some of us, it is taken. For a lot of people, innocence is taken from them, and it's not a choice.
No.
And survivors of SA, I'll say, survivors of SA and abuse will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, girl, yeah.
When you have that type of violation at any age, but especially when you're young,
yes,
something is taken, something feels gone.
Yeah.
And what is left in its place feels dirty.
Yeah.
Like you could scrub and scrub and scrub and you will never be clean again.
It's a stain. I used to feel like
it's a stain.
When I was processing through it, it felt like a stain that I couldn't erase.
It's a stain that you can't erase.
It's something that everyone can see, and it's why I'm bad.
Yes. To me, it feels like branding.
Yeah. Oh
like a branded piece of flesh.
Yeah.
And people can fucking smell the burning flesh
right on your
you.
face.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's like, it's, yeah. Oh my God.
It's like men see that and then they're like, my turn.
Oh, that just stabbed me in the heart. That's literally, that was intense.
It's fucked up.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm the emo girl.
No, that was good.
But,
that was good. I live for a good emo moment.
Yeah.
But that's fucking so true.
Yeah.
It's so fucking true.
That's what I feel like. This archetype, not only is it a luxury, so it's not everybody gets to be the good girl.
Yeah.
But also it's a very, very primal archetype. Because nobody can stay the good girl forever.
Never.
Because if innocence is just a lack of experience, eventually you will experience
heartbreak, pain, something.
And then you won't be the good girl.
Yeah.
So this is a very young, a very primal archetype to me.
Yeah.
And so it bothers me that it's so fetishized.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because we shouldn't be fetishizing something so primal. We shouldn't be fetishizing something so young.
No, never. God, no.
Yeah. But so I do think that to be an empowered version of this archetype, one, just enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah. No, truly.
But
youth is wasted on the young, right?
Yes. Yeah. Because you are not going to stay the good girl forever. But that being said, also, when you do start morphing into other archetypes, when you do get more experience, when you do, unfortunately, witness and feel how cruel the world can be, hold on to the good parts of this archetype, because there are really good parts. The softness, the warmth, those are really good parts.
Yeah.
Hold on to the staying true to your morals, to your virtues.
Yeah.
Those are really, really good parts of it that I think can stay with a person even after they have seen the rain.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it's, what's interesting is, so there are parts of me that lost the goodness growing up, and then there are as a kiddo, and then there were parts of me that lost goodness as an adult. Primarily the goodness lost CSA, right, when I was growing up. And then as an adult, through my divorce, I felt like a lot of innocence was lost. And that was a really interesting experience.
Yeah.
Because what it has done is it's made me more protective over the good parts of me.
Yeah.
It's made me protective over the good traits that I have, and it's something that I encourage everyone to do is keep things that are just yours.
Yeah.
Keep innocent things that are just yours, because all of the right people, you can't rely on them to be as good to you as you can be. Even the best people in your life. You can always be better to yourself than anyone else. Always.
Absolutely.
Always.
You can buy yourself flowers.
Yes, you can hold your own hand.
You can write your name in the sand. Is that the Miley Cyrus song?
Yes. Yeah. But like what you can do is like, and then with the right people, like they will also have, you know, like if you're in like a heterosexual relationship, a good boy, right? Like he has his own innocence as well. That's like, it's not just like hot girl psychology is the only kind of like hot people psychology. There's also hot guy psychology, I guess. Hot boy psychology.
Yeah.
Hot boy psychology. Oh my God. In 20 years when that comes out, I'm so going to be a listener.
Yeah.
But like the same thing, like, you know, and then for people who are in non-heterosexual relationships, just the like good person, the good girl that you find that you love, like protect their innocence as well, right? Like if
much as you can for as long as you can.
If somebody shares their innocence with you, never ever ever take advantage of it.
Don't exploit it.
Never ever. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your next archetype?
So talking about moving away from the pain, my second archetype is the feral girl.
Feral girl.
The feral,
not to
ferret girl.
Not to be confused with the ferret girl,
but the feral girl.
Not to be confused with me.
So the feral girl is really like, she's just chaotic, like low key. She's super chaotic.
Okay, is this BPD girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, love it.
Absolutely. So feral girl is your like 3 a.m. nachos, drunk off your ass, like day 6 dry shampoo. She's like I totally washed this because I sprayed it with Febreze. She is like I don't even know that I'm supposed to be in class right now. And what do you mean we had an assignment due? Like, fuck.
This is just me in college.
Like, this is, we all have the feral girl inside of us. But she, you know, she's like lost her phone 10 times since I started this conversation. And
also me in college.
Never been able to find her vape pen. And she has like 20 of them.
And she keeps asking others to hit theirs. And it's like getting annoying. It's getting annoying. It's getting noticeable.
So real. Yeah, she just like cannot seem to get her shit together, but she is such a blast to hang out with.
She's a beautiful mess.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She is such a beautiful mess. And she is so much fun to hang out with. Like she is absolutely like, you have the time of your fucking life with her, but girl, you're going to be taking care of her later tonight.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be, you do not know if she's going to cry, if she's going to laugh, if she's going to fight someone. You have no fucking clue. She is an animal through and through. She is connected to her animus in every way.
Yeah.
Every fucking way. Her anima in every way. So the feral girl.
My friends that knew me from like 2011 through like 2018 are all of us fucking on the floor right now.
Any of my friends who knew me from 1991 until about 2025
saying right, so until a month ago.
No, it is what it is. Like literally, feral is exactly how I would describe the way I was growing up. Like I was even feral about food, like a little like just like give me the food. You know, but like she has like no social graces, but she's beautiful, and she has
beautiful mess,
a beautiful fucking mess. She really is, and she gets invited to everything. She gets, you know, she's chosen for everything, but she just can't get it together. No matter what she does.
Yeah.
So the shadow of her is that she's not taking care of herself. Right? She just doesn't care about herself. She doesn't care. She's barely treading water. She's trying to care, but she cannot seem to care. She's like gonna go and say like, well, I'm gonna go do a detox and that's gonna fix it all. Or I'm gonna go like, I'm gonna get all my blackheads removed and that's gonna fix it all.
She always has like these radical ideas of that I'm gonna do this and it's gonna heal everything, and either she doesn't do it, doesn't follow through, or she does it and then it's like wherever you go, there you are.
Wherever you go, there you fucking are. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. She's a tautology. It is what it is, right? She is 100% like the highs and the lows embodied. Then in that like way, so like she like oscillates, right? Like very she's black and white. Yeah. And she's oscillating all the time. The empowered version of her sits on a wavelength that is just very calm, very still. And it's very like the frequency, so to speak, cosmic ass witch bitch, is like very like not disruptive. And
So it's more controlled?
it's just balanced. Yeah. Exactly what you're saying. Controlled.
Internal locus of control, like
The
we were talking
internal
about
locus of control.
last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is so weird because like she is the embodiment of internal locus of control. She is like creating her own chaos. She is the bringer of her own chaos, and she absolutely like does that in an attempt to control her chaos, which is so interesting. It's
if you create the chaos, you are
yes,
controlling it.
She is the Ouroboros of the hot girl archetypes. She is a snake eating its own tail in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
And so, but like once she gets to a point of being empowered, she is actually very, very, very visceral. So she knows how to tap into that animalistic side of her to make anything happen. So what I see with the feral girl as she gets more empowered is she knows exactly what she wants because she's been feral. She has survived on her base impulses for so long that she knows exactly what she wants. So she's
almost like an animalistic knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas a lot of people don't ever explore their animalistic urges. They hide from it. They shy away from it.
You should. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Have like a screaming orgasm at some point in your life.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Genuinely.
No,
but so this makes sense that this could actually be an incredibly empowered person.
Oh my God.
Because they have explored that, and they've explored the darkness too. There's also something to be said about being messy, about being imperfect, about allowing people to see that. I think that there's something so beautiful about that as well. But then being able to do that in a more balanced way, I also imagine that prioritizing peace versus chaos and knowing the difference would be a huge element of this.
I have to have an extraordinarily regimented schedule. I basically tamed myself, right? So you tame the feral animal inside of you. I have an extraordinarily regimented schedule. I am like, I'm like a, you know how they train like service animals, and you are not allowed
to touch them. Yeah.
Not only are you not allowed to touch them, but like you are not allowed to, like, when they are in their working mode, you cannot fucking waver. You cannot make a mistake. You must train them perfectly so they don't get confused. And you cannot let them you can never ever ever say yes to them when the answer is no, because that's just like, they need to know like how to actually act in an emergency, because they're animals, right? And if you treat yourself that way,
they're all like classic conditioning.
Yeah.
And that is very, very black and white, and it has to be.
It is. And so the way that I speak to my own black and white self is like, I'm very, very regimented with my schedule. I'm very, very regimented with like my routines and things like that. And it keeps me comfortable. It's uncomfortable to achieve as much comfort as I have.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the comfort is uncomfortable. Yeah,
it is. Yeah. So like, I look at comfort now as not just like what's familiar, but I look at comfort as like having enough income, which means I must be like working pretty hard. And if I work really hard, then I have to be like really intentional about taking care of myself. And if I'm intentional about taking care of myself, I have to be really on top of my mental health. If I'm really on top of my mental health, I have to be taking care of my relationships, my priorities, that kind of thing, like take care of my body, etc. Like it's like you tame the animal inside of you, and then you actually become empowered. So you kind of have to divorce yourself a little bit from the feral girl.
Yeah.
To understand her. Like discipline is a huge piece of healing the feral animal inside of you. It's huge.
Structure.
Yeah. It's taming. It's not domesticating, it's taming. Right? Domesticating is like pacifying and softening, but taming is like keeping yourself stimulated in ways that make it so you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yes.
Bite it the fuck off. Right. So so the feral girl inside of you, she is so much fun, but she's finite. She is ultimately finite.
Yeah. So she also, it sounds like she's a more primal archetype. I think something to think about too is if you have, whether it is any past version of you, whether it's chaotic, whether it is addiction, something that was loud and fun, you need to go and make your current life better and more appealing than that.
Exactly. Which is why I'm doing a fucking podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
No, literally.
You need to have a lot of things that, one, bring you meaning, of course.
Yeah.
But also that make it so that you wouldn't want to go back to that person. Because if you're like, okay, well, that person was happier and more successful, why wouldn't you go back to the drug? Why wouldn't you go back to chaos and crazy relationships and toxic men if that was more fun?
Yeah.
So you need to make your life peaceful, but also more fun than it was before. Absolutely. And fun can mean something different to you now than it did back then.
Yes.
But it needs to feel more appealing to you than the past version of you did.
Absolutely. And like, if you have yourself in a healthy place, you can choose fun that is otherworldly. Like, you can choose fun that I mean, we're running a really fucking legit podcast. Like, this shit's really fucking cool.
But it's really fun.
It's so fun. It's so much fun. I look forward to this every week.
Yeah.
Like, I love this shit. And it's something that a past version of me could never have like deeply supported, because there was too much, not that there was too much instability for me to like show up for it, but there was too much instability for me to be open and honest on the podcast.
Me too.
Yeah. But and that's
too much fear.
Yeah, exactly. And now fearlessness is like all I have inside of me.
Yeah. I love that.
Thanks.
I love that we're both in this position where we are people that can be honest.
Yes.
On a podcast. My flavor of being broken is dishonesty versus chaos. I've never been chaotic. I've always been incredibly controlled, incredibly Machiavellian, as we've talked about.
Yes, absolutely.
Very mindful. Mindfulness has never been hard for me. The DBT skills have never been hard for me.
Yeah.
I've used them too much, if anything.
Yeah.
So progress for me would look like falling apart. Progress for me would look like crying in front of you.
Yeah.
Versus with other people, it might be the opposite of that. And that's great as well. Well, not great, but it's not fun. But it's okay.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and we were talking about my book, and I was telling her, she was telling me about certain experiences that she had that I kind of knew about, but she was just expanding upon them. And I told her some things that, not that specifically had happened, that I had done at that age. And she had no idea about them. I was like, why wouldn't you tell me that? Like, of all the people, I wouldn't have judged you. And she was kind of like, who are you? And I was like, yeah, I didn't tell you because I was so secretive, and she was my best friend in the world. And I didn't tell her because I didn't tell anybody, because I really, really was that secretive, that keeping everything so close to the vest, that self-protective.
Yeah.
So for me, not being self-protective, being more of like the lover girl, is me healing. And for other people, it can look the opposite. It can look like being less chaotic. It can mean like being more self-protective, being more mindful. And that's also great too. It's balance. That's what any of us are trying to achieve.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Yes, absolutely. And I feel like that's the thing that like is missing from the feral girl, is like
balance.
Because
So we covered some great hot girl archetypes tonight, and we will, this was just hot girl archetypes part 2. We have so many more.
Like part 10 million.
Yeah.
It's coming.
We have so many that we want to cover with you guys. So please keep listening.
Yes.
And that being said, Emily, do you have any final thoughts on hot girl archetypes for tonight?
I feel like we covered some really good bases tonight. And the more we do these, the more I'm realizing we're like a little bit of all of them.
Yeah.
And I find that that's really like, it's low-key empowering, because I know that if you and I are all of them, so are all of you.
Yes.
Listening.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt, because they are all inside of us. Every single one of them is inside of us. Like even the like pure moments, you know, inside the chaotic moments and things like that. Like the rebel moments, which we'll eventually get to Rebel Girl. That song.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I have a lot of thoughts on that one. I like that. We are all so similar. We all feel really big feelings, and we will all do anything possible to not feel those big feelings.
Absolutely.
And we will do things like slip into archetypes as a trauma response, as a coping mechanism to trauma.
Yeah.
And these things, these archetypes help us survive in a lot of ways. They help us fit in. They help us make sense of the world. And that's why none of them are good or bad.
Right.
They just are.
Yes, they just are. I love that so much. So it's a lot of just being, right? Like it's a lot of just embodying, just existing, just being, and you flow in and out of them without even realizing it.
Yes,
all the time, right? We are going to be covering these for a while because there's so many. I mean, obviously, like Jung had his 12, but like the reality is, he was not thinking about women when he was making those. So
probably not.
We are significantly more complicated, with good reason, thank you, than men, because we have a lot of shit going on all the time. And so there's going to be a lot more of our archetypes than there are of just the men.
Yeah. Also, we'd be interested to hear from you guys too. If there are any hot girl archetypes that you feel like you embody very strongly that we haven't covered, and you want us to dive into it and to explore the possibilities of that, we would love to do that.
Absolutely. Follow us on @hotgirlpsychology if you want to get in touch. It's @hotgirlpsychology on Instagram and @hotgirlpsychology podcast on TikTok.
Yeah. And tune in next week where we will be diving into feminine energy. Yeah. How we have it, what it means, how we can embody it, all of the good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, girlies.
Bye.